HomeSmart with Jane Fairweather for the home you buy, sell, or live in is brought to you in part by Caldwell Banker Realty Pros. Discover unlimited opportunities with a career in real estate with Caldwell Banker Realty Pros Limited. Enjoy the benefits of a prestigious national organization with local ownership. For more information, call 1-800-407-7767. And Paragon Title and Escrow Company. Paragon has been conducting real estate settlements for all Maryland counties and the District of Columbia since 1981. With offices conveniently located in Bethesda and Washington, Paragon can be your choice for a smooth, professional, and friendly closing. For a free copy of their brochure, The Dissection of a Real Estate Transaction, call Paragon Title at 301-986-1114.
Hi, I'm Jane Fairweather. And now that you've gotten to know me on HomeSmart, you can probably guess that I know much more about real estate than I do about gardening. But here's the real dig. Knowing what I do about buying, selling, and maintaining a home investment, I can tell you that what's outside your house can be as important as what's inside. Today, with the help of our outside experts, we will show you how landscaping from backyard decks and patios to simple container pots can make a big difference in the appearance and function of your outdoor space and create added value for your home. Then, I'll see you out on my own front porch to address the other real estate matters that I know are on your mind.
Hey Jane, what are you doing with that little shovel?
Oh, you're just in time, John. More from us later. Stay tuned. Good morning. It's a great day at Jane Fairweather's. Welcome to today's episode of HomeSmart for the home you buy, sell, or live in. As we will see, creative outdoor living space can add value to your home, and of course you can enjoy the outdoors by adding features like a patio and a pool, or by bringing the outdoors inside your home with sunrooms and garden rooms. Either approach can make a big difference in the value of your home, from the way you enjoy it every day to the gain it returns when you sell it. Before we go out to visit a very interesting backyard, I've asked Anthony Wilder of Anthony Wilder Design Build Inc. in Bethesda to join us here in the studio to talk about turning your backyard into an outdoor living room. Thanks for coming, Anthony. So if I've got some money and I want to do something to my backyard, what would you recommend I do so that I don't waste the limited dollars that I have?
Well, let me show you what you shouldn't do first.
Okay.
Do
we have a picture of a
I've got
backyard?
a picture of something
Okay.
we're in the process of transforming now. That is like putting barnwood shutters on your house.
Meaning?
It's dark wood against a beautiful traditional white house.
Okay.
So it sort of, in essence, it sort of minimizes the value of a literally, it could be a nice veranda or an open white columned porch. And they've got this sort of staged structure with lattice underneath, and it could be anywhere, but it doesn't belong on the house.
But that's what thousands of people do. They put a deck on the back of their house.
Yeah,
and a dark wood deck.
Yeah,
so you're saying to me that that's probably not the best use of an outdoor amenity?
Yeah, I mean, when I started, that's the first thing I put on, and then I finally started to get my eye started to get tutored after being around a lot of nice houses, and that house. That whole process of transitioning from inside to out took place when I started painting the rails. It started to bring the color up and expand the visuals from inside and out, the seamless transition. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the interior of a house, the wood floors are there, but the walls are white or painted. So in the same way, you should do that with your porch, your outside structure. The floor should be left alone, natural, and then the outside perimeter should be railed or painted rails. Mm-hmm. Or columned with rafters and arbor structures to give you that sort of feeling that you have an intimate space outside instead of a big
platform. So you're trying to create an outdoor living room.
Yes.
And so do we have a picture of something that you think is much more appropriate
for that? Wonderful
for that?
structure. This is off of, again, a sided white house in Potomac. The railings, the Chippendale back set, they're just little Chippendale panels here and there to accent that traditional motif. And the fluted columns give it a lot of structure and substance.
So you get a sense that you have walls, but in fact you don't. I mean, the railing and the columns give you a sense of walls. Now, what was the overhang? The overhang looks like a ceiling, but actually it's more of a pergola. You can get the sun through, the greenery through.
Yeah, you have basically a verted backdrop, which is a nest of vines, and then which provides shade in the summer, and in the winter, of course, you don't want to darken your windows.
Right.
So the vines drop their leaves, and all this wonderful light flows in the winter.
So you get the feeling that you're in a room because it has a sense of walls, a sense of a ceiling. I saw there was a fan there. The color was white. You had potted plants. You really do feel like you're walking into another room of the house. Do you have another example of that?
Yeah, we have the next one I'd like to show you is if you look at the lattice as a privacy screen, it also draws your eye into the structure. The structure has a sense of intimacy. So when you go out into your backyard, you have this sort of white frame around you, which sort of gives you a sense that you're almost under an English conservatory.
So you still have a feeling of walls. That back lattice gives you a sense of windows even, and certainly a lot of privacy. Then you have the overhang, but again, the light comes through there.
And it's wonderful. That sunlight is unbelievable. Having that dappled sunlight coming through the trees and through the rafters into the house.
And how about indoor-outdoor rooms? What do you recommend that people do when they're adding like a garden room or a sunroom?
Most importantly, you don't want to darken the interior space you already have. And a lot of people don't really understand that. As soon as you get your roof on, it turns into a dark mass in the interiors. So you, in essence, have ruined the most favorite room in the house.
So what do you have? This is a picture of a garden room that looks almost all glass.
Yes, actually it's a three-season room, and it comes out to a waterfall view. Windows are the most important part of your house. And those walls are transparent and filled with open spaces that really bring the outside in.
And the sound of water? I mean, it looks like there's a pond out there.
That's magic. The sun dances against the water and bounces around, and at night you get that ephemeral sort of light bouncing off the walls and the interiors and exteriors. There's nothing like water. In Japan, they say that water is the life and blood of the garden.
So you do a lot of waterfalls and ponds?
I shouldn't.
Like
it's so difficult to put waterfalls in when you're doing construction, but I love to do it, and I really impress upon my client that water and light and plantings and lots of windows and open space is the way you transition to the outside. So
design seems to be the most important part of thinking about your outdoor space. Not so much a lot of money as it is good design.
Good design. Good design.
Great. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you.
Now, let's get hands-on and head out to the backyard living room of my good friends John and Kristen Durfee. Thank you. That was great.
Jane, gardening definitely isn't for you.
No.
Nope. But let's take a little stroll around and we'll talk about the garden, and maybe you'll get a few tips, and maybe you can be a gardener one of these days.
Oh, that's very helpful.
Before we go, though, let me give you this. You'll need that. It's a little watering can. You can give me a little hand as we go along.
Oh, okay, great.
Before we go any further, though, this is the nemesis. Every bush and every tree in this backyard I have planted at least once, except for this. It's a quince. You can't move it.
Oh, well, I'm certainly glad. Maybe it needs some water. I'll just do that really quickly. Speaking of water, I love this little fountain here. You mind if I take a little quick bath?
Please do.
Oh, it's so hot.
Yep.
That's a great, I love the sound of running water. Is that something that you guys were, trying to get when you put gardens around?
Well, whenever we have a fight and it gets kind of quiet around here, we like to have a little sound just to break it up.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good. What is this tree?
We never actually fight, though. You know that.
No, I'm sure that's the case. Well, what is this? It looks like a holly, but it's really shaped like a tree.
Well, it is a holly tree, and it was a bush, and I cut it back years and years ago, made just one stem come up, and so it really is kind of a little tree, and I think it's just grand.
It's adorable. It's very unusual looking. Now, I've noticed that you have a variety of green over here. This is the boxwood?
Yep, the American boxwood.
And I noticed that you've got potted plants on the roof, hanging pots on the fence.
You don't know much about gardening.
No, I really don't know very much. It's not my thing, but I'm very good at real estate.
Well,
tell me
so
about,
I've heard.
Tell me about this frog.
Well, we got a good friend who does these kind of sculptures, and we thought we need a little whimsy back here, something to lift us up. And also, when we're having dinner over there, it'd be nice to have somebody here with us, kind of saluting us. And this little fellow has a champagne glass and a bottle of champagne, and he always greets us. He's like a dog. He's always there. He's always your friend.
Well, good. I just watered you, Froggy.
Yep.
That's great.
Call it Fred.
John, tell me a little bit about the concept you were going for here. I know when you bought the house, it only had a pool, but you've created really an outdoor living space here that's quite fabulous.
Well, one of the reasons we wanted to do that was because we do spend so much time out here, and our house is not too large. It's not large at all, as a matter of fact, so we spend an awful lot of time in the spring, in the fall, and in the summer, of course. We got the pool out here, and so we've tried to kind of make just another room for it.
I've noticed that all of the doors that lead out to the house, from the house, are all glass, so you really have the ability to bring the outside in, which I'm sure, even on the months that you don't use it, gives you a great deal of comfort.
Well, it's a lot of light, and you can look out very easily, and believe it or not, we can open those doors, leave them open when we're out here, and I think it must be the chlorine in the pool or whatever, but it's practically bug-free back here.